Hello, everyone. Welcome to another video of the Two of Us podcast. And just in case you forgot who we were, this is my man Chris, who is also our host.
Yo,
And I am Wanda Don John, as he calls me. Today we'll be discussing the Batman. And we hope you enjoy our thoughts. So pop a squat, crack open a soda, or whatever beverage you may like, and sit back and relax and enjoy. So, the Batman, Chris.
I'm gonna start off with my initial thoughts. I thought it
hmm
was really good.
Yeah, I thought so as well, man.
Like, I really love this movie. It did a lot right. I have one or two gripes with it, but I think it's the best Batman movie since The Dark Knight.
Yeah, man, I can agree with that. It was just there's something about it, man. It was so good. It was so well written, in my opinion. Excuse me.
Yeah,
And it just like they just really nailed the hammer
yeah.
on the nail this time.
There were a lot of most of the movie got a lot of things right.
hmm
I think we should start with some of the performances.
Yeah.
Like, what did you think of Robert Pattinson? Because he was kind of going in when I first heard of him, it was from Twilight, and my initial thoughts were, it could work out because Michael Keaton worked out and he was Mr. Mom, you know. And
Yeah, I
my
agree.
initial thought was it could be a miracle cast, right? And with
hmm
Robert Pattinson, I'd say they nailed it. But what do you think?
I really think they nailed it. It was just, he had what I would call like the underdog story as the
Yeah,
Batman. Because
definitely, definitely.
because most people they just I mean everyone has their own interpretation of Batman, you know? And I don't know, man. It's like pulling a rare needle out of a haystack
Hmm.
cuz it's everyone just knows that uh he just came from Twilight for most people, you know?
Yeah. He's also
And
done a lot of indie movies, like The Lighthouse is really good. If you haven't seen that, go watch it, people.
yeah, yeah, go watch it cuz I mean, I haven't seen it, but I do plan to watch it
It's
cuz
great.
yeah,
Just
it
don't watch it in isolation like I did, it'll creep you out.
Why did you just sit in a room by yourself?
I watched it during COVID lockdown for me,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a crazy movie,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought, you know, what I loved about Robert Pattinson is they don't really question his strength, Batman's strength in this movie, like
Yeah.
with his fighting stuff, right? There's no
Mm-hmm.
underdog thing to him. He knows what he's doing when it comes to fighting,
Yeah, man.
and
And you could really see it.
like almost nothing slows him down except a 12 gauge shotgun to the chest.
Yeah, man.
That's the only thing that practically puts him down, which is
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
I know, because it also shows that even Batman can be vulnerable, you know,
Hmm.
compared to, because everyone just keeps thinking, every time he were to get shot or something, they're like, oh, well, his suit is just really powerful, you know?
Yeah,
And then it could pretty much stop at 12 gauge or whatever. Pretty much make it sort of unrealistic.
yeah.
But
I
then once, go for it.
Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Oh well, when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, that it was such a good detail.
Yeah, yeah. Agreed. I really thought a lot. The real standout performance to me, and it wasn't the Riddler. Riddler was good, but the actor they got for Gordon,
hmm
I think he was. This is the best Gordon we've ever had, legitimately.
Yeah, it was so weird, but it was good. Like he did really well,
He
and
was fantastic.
he
Oh
really
my
was. Yeah,
god, I loved watching Gordon in this movie.
I know, man. and it felt like a Gordon.
Yeah, it
You
felt
know?
like he was ripped straight from the comic books.
Yeah, exactly. You literally just took those words right from my mouth.
And like the thing is, I think Gary Oldman did a great job as Gordon, but this
Mhm.
guy is when I picture Gordon now, I think of this guy rather than Gary Oldman.
Yeah, I know. That's
Because
kind of crazy.
the thing about the Batman movie I really, really loved though
Hmm.
was Colin Farrell as the Penguin and John Turturro. I was
Yeah,
not expecting to see John Turturro in this movie,
I
and I
know,
didn't
man.
expect him to play this serious part because I'm used to his comedy roles like Mr. Deeds and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And he was amazing and a very intimidating villain.
Yeah, he really was, man. Even even he had me questioning who he was.
Yeah,
Because like I don't know. When I first saw it, um, I just got the feeling of I can't think of the comic book. Oh, Batman Hush. Like
yeah,
with the bandages on his face and stuff.
yeah.
That I just kept having that feeling when I saw, you know, pretty much the Riddler every time. But
Alright,
it
so
was.
I think it's time to talk about the Riddler.
Hmm.
He is one of the best parts of this movie, but he kind of takes a back seat half the time.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, he is the main antagonist in what they're hunting, but it sort of gets wrapped up into politics and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it's done really, really well. It's a good movie.
Hmm.
But there are a couple of things I don't like about it, and I think it's time to get into that section a little bit of what we don't didn't like about the movie. And this is probably going to be very short for me because it's only one or two things.
Hmm.
The one thing I didn't like about the movie, and I think this is a complaint that everybody has, is the length. This movie
Yeah.
is 3 hours long. It's a
Hmm.
great movie, but
Yeah.
I'm asking myself, does it need to be this long?
Yeah. I get you, man.
And the more and more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, it does, because what could you cut and still make it make sense?
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is it is
it's
a very, very long movie, and I saw this in theaters, and I'm like holding myself trying to not go to the bathroom because
yeah,
I'm like seeing everything.
yeah, man. I would sort of describe this as like for people who really like the movie Titanic,
Hmm.
I think we kind of understand how they feel now with the
Yeah.
Batman. But yeah, like I can even agree. I was talking to one of my friends earlier this morning too, and apparently she hasn't seen it,
Hmm.
but she only saw like 30 minutes of it because
Hmm.
she said to her it was kind of boring, but I think it was maybe because she saw how long it was.
Yeah.
And I think that's what drives some people away, you know.
Yeah, I get that.
Hmm.
I
But I
think
mean, it's not that crucial.
yeah, I
It's
think it was made for streaming, and at the last minute they decided, "Oh, we're gonna release it in theaters."
hmm
And
yeah,
I'm not saying that's a bad move or anything. I just think it's a
hmm
little too long. It should have had an
yeah,
intermission or something in the middle of it so you could like take a break.
yeah, because it's kind of a little bit to take, because like at the beginning of the movie, it shows part of Bruce as Batman, and then
I thought
you
that
actually.
was the one thing lacking from this movie, Bruce Wayne.
Hmm.
Because Bruce
Yeah, I
Wayne
felt
didn't
that.
really make
Yeah.
many appearances. Yeah, I get he's kind of a shut in at this point, but
Hmm.
I still. And yeah, I think that is the point. He is trying to make up appearances and such.
Hmm.
Uh, But it is an interesting thing. It it is a very interesting moment when you see Bruce Wayne versus Carmine Falcone a little bit.
Yeah. And they finally did something really interesting with Falcone than just sort of have him there.
Yeah,
And then I'm happy for that because I mean, they in the comics and then also in other films they make him pretty much like the big to do in Gotham before pretty much all these villains came in.
yeah, yeah,
And they never go into depth with him. They just say he's Falcone and he had this court case and that's it. But in this one for me, it actually goes a lot in depth with him and with the Maroni crime family that
yeah.
he was going up against, you know?
It's very
And
interesting
mhm,
because
it really is.
this movie feels like a political thriller at the same time as a Batman movie.
Yeah.
And I like political thrillers, and I think it works here.
Mhm.
Uh, but Batman is sort of taking a backseat with a lot of the movie, but he's still the center focus. He's still trying to figure out stuff. This really shows
Yeah.
how he is a detective.
Yeah. And that's what is a good thing about it as well.
Hmm.
Because I mean in the other Batmans, you don't really get to see that too much. You mostly just see him go there, to the location and then pretty much fight and he doesn't really solve too much.
Yeah,
But in this one it actually is like a riddle.
yeah,
He's having a small riddle within his own head, discovering these smaller riddles which indicate, or lead up to a bigger picture.
yeah. And I do love. I'm gonna switch the conversation to the Riddler. I
Yeah,
do
that's
love
fine.
how they made him delusional as fuck.
Yeah, man.
I loved that idea that he gets it in his head that he is like this holier than thou person, that he's gonna be famous for the rest of time.
Yeah. And I mean, isn't that even like the actual Riddler? Like that's what I always pictured the Riddler being, you know?
It's a more serious take on the Riddler because I
Mhm.
haven't seen the Riddler like this since the Arkham series.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do love the Arkham series Riddler, even though he's a pain in the ass to do. But I think
Mhm.
here he's executed in a more serious manner that makes him more interesting to me.
Yeah. And not as like I guess annoying or like a secondhand task to do.
Yeah, he is the main focus.
Yeah. Which was, I mean, most people would have never expected that, from a Batman movie.
Yeah,
Because I mean, we got um what was it? Batman versus what the heck? Um which Batman film was the one with Two-Face and the Riddler? Batman Forever?
forever, yeah.
Yeah. With I mean, in that film he had to sort of have someone that was with him in the movie, to
Yeah,
sort of fill him in more.
yeah.
But in
And he
this
was
one,
played a lot for laughs. That's the
yeah.
thing. And
Yeah.
I do love how they give him this very, like, it has a couple of very scary scenes where it's like a horror movie. Like, the very first scene in the movie is like a horror movie, man.
Oh yeah, I know, man. And even when they went to that orphanage too,
Yeah,
I got like Silent Hill type of
yeah.
creeps when they were walking through there, or even Resident Evil, like that same type of atmosphere.
He's like the Zodiac killer a lot of the time, though.
Mhm.
Like, it's very well done. He is very well done in this movie.
Mhm. He, it's just he just did so good.
Yeah.
It
The
was.
only problem I have with him is how goofy his interrogation scene is. When he's not necessarily the interrogation scene itself, it's when he starts singing Ave Maria.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
It is kind of goofy. And
yeah,
yeah, I get it's a Batman movie. You're supposed to have fun like that sometimes. But
yeah.
eh. Also, I love the little sprinkles of humor that's in here,
Hmm.
like thumb drive.
Oh yeah, I know that was good.
Oh, this guy's hilarious.
I know, man. It was good, and then especially with like the I don't know, like to me, I found funny whenever when they both went um to the bat signal, like Gordon and Batman, and they both thought one of them lit it up,
Yeah.
and then they're just like outside, so it's kind of like they understand how it feels
And
for
I guess this leads us to Selena Kyle, Catwoman.
yeah.
I thought she was okay, and
Mhm.
I thought she was one of the weaker parts of the movie. Not because she was bad or anything, it's just I really feel I I don't think her performance was really that strong. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I didn't hate it or anything. I just, I thought she could have been written a little better
Yeah.
cuz suddenly this romantic interest in Batman kind of doesn't make sense unless you're considering him a rebound to me
Mhm.
cuz she was with Annika and
Yeah.
Annika died and she's moving on quickly, or is she doing
Yeah.
that just to get what she wants? You
I
know,
think it was probably to get what she wants.
yeah, I
You know,
know.
cause to me, for to well, at least the way I see it,
Mhm.
um, in the movie, uh, I get more of the comic book vibe of Catwoman, like in the
Mhm.
modern ones, the ones that Jim Lee draws and
Yeah.
uh other artists that are currently drawing them. Um, Mostly because she's more she doesn't just settle. That's the best way to put it. You
Yeah.
know, like she always expects the worst to happen in a way, and she just adapts to it.
Yeah, I get you.
So like when Annika died, I feel like, I mean, yes, she always has that in her head, you know,
Mhm.
about who killed her, and she still wants revenge for it. And
She's
um,
willing to do anything to get that.
exactly. Hmm. And as she sees fit, pretty much Batman. Even though in the beginning part, she really didn't want to work with him, as you could see,
She
like,
still wanted answers.
yeah, just as long as she had a personal benefit from it.
Yeah, I do. I wasn't saying she's bad. I just don't
Hmm.
think. Yeah, I do think she is integral to Catwoman, and there are a few things I really loved about her. She was not overly sexualized.
Yeah, I know, man.
Because, like, as much as I love Catwoman in the previous movies, Michelle Pfeiffer and Anne Hathaway, right?
Hmm. Yeah, Anne
I
Hathaway.
thought they were kind of throwaway characters, and because they were too, like, sexy,
Hmm.
it was
Really?
kind of distracting in some of them.
Oh.
But I
Oh.
think with this one, I am not saying she doesn't have that appeal, but
Yeah.
I think it's toned down in order to make it a more interesting film.
Yeah. The way I kind of saw it, like, it's agreeing with you on this one. Uh, Mostly because her suit, to me, when I saw it, is more of a prototype.
Hmm.
You know, it's not like the actual, like, let's say Michelle Pfeiffer's suit, right?
Hmm.
It was actually, she had the cat ears and pretty much the whole attire. You
Yeah,
know, but in this one, she had pretty much the attire for the body, right?
yeah.
But she didn't have the mask. She
Hmm.
just had like a burglar type of mask, and just cut pretty much like just where she can fully see, you
Yeah.
know? So that's why I think it kind of changed it up a little bit, you
Yeah,
know? Because it makes her more of an amateur thief right now than an
yeah.
actual, uh, than pretty much her actually becoming Selena's Kyle, like
I mean,
the
the only
final.
thing she steals in this movie is a
Hmm.
passport.
Yeah, pretty much.
She is done really, really well, though. I love Zoe Kravitz in her
Hmm.
performance in this. I think she is a. It is Zoe Kravitz, right?
Yes. Here, you want to search it just in
Yeah,
case? Hmm.
yeah, it is her. It is her.
Oh,
Had
okay.
to make sure, but
Yeah.
I think she did a fantastic job.
Hmm.
And there was another thing I didn't like about this movie. I felt that Alfred was kind of shoehorned in most of the time.
Yeah. I really wanted to see some more from Andy Serkis. Because he's right now what I would call him. He's a legendary actor at the moment.
Yeah, he is amazing as an actor, and he's just kind of given not a lot to work with, other than
Yeah.
this big emotional scene, which he pulls off really well.
Hmm.
But,
I
you
know.
know, other than that, he's not really given much, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, I can agree because you know, I don't know. Sorry.
You're good.
Crap.
You need me to pause it?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Um, sorry everyone who heard that. But anyways, yeah, like I really wanted to see more out of him, you
Hmm.
know, because it's always typically just Bruce mostly talking to Alfred.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to, his father and his family type of stuff.
Yeah.
But they went like a different direction to have Bruce kind of just, I guess, like
Figuring it
see.
out himself because he wanted. The thing is,
Mhm.
I like the way they did Bruce Wayne's parents in this movie, saying they were flawed people because we didn't really
Yeah,
get that in any of the Batman movies prior to this. We
yeah, I can
we
agree.
always saw this idealized vision of what Bruce Wayne thought of his parents, like the ideal what he wanted from them. And this
Hmm.
goes a little farther with it, saying, hey, not everything my parents did was perfect, but hey, they tried.
Yeah, and that's what I actually liked as well. They didn't make his family like, I guess to call like untouchable. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
they made them like average people, and that's what I think that's what makes a character stand out, or characters for this instance, stand out way more. You know.
Yeah, definitely. And I do love how they tackled this renewal plan.
Hmm.
Basically, what Bruce thinks this is Gotham's legacy at this point,
Yeah,
and how it's a lie, you know, how it's
yeah,
complete BS.
yeah. It was like when I found out as well. Like when I was first seeing it, I was like, oh man, it's just a big flaw. And it was just, I mean, yes, it was like shown, like foreshadowed in
Hmm.
certain parts of the film, but I would have never thought,
Yeah,
because
I do think the Riddler stuff was very interesting. I loved the tension he had
mhm,
with Bruce Wayne because he's just like
yeah,
in that interrogation scene. It is so scary because
hmm,
he's just saying Bruce Wayne. And originally, my dumbass thought, oh, he had figured it out. And I went with that
yeah,
impression and I kind of zoned out. And I thought, okay, Batman's identity is known now throughout the entire movie. And
hmm,
yet, that's not the fucking case.
yeah. I think that's what he wanted him to think though,
Yeah,
because Bruce knew he was walking on thin ice in that room.
yeah,
Because once he requested him, because it's sort of like, why do you want me here? You
yeah,
know? And when he was in there, I think that was what the Riddler, that was his final piece in his head, where he
Yeah.
wanted to figure out who the Batman was. So every time he mentioned Bruce, it would
Well,
make him want to answer,
no, I think it was done that way for dramatic tension, because the Riddler didn't fucking know. Bruce Wayne is the only one that got away, you know?
No, yeah,
Because that
I'm not
that's
saying
all
that he
that's
knew,
in all that's in all what I thought is Bruce Wayne is the one that got away.
Hmm.
And it was very interesting to see how it's done, you know?
Yeah,
Because, you know, a lot of the way the Riddler is conducted in that scene is very well done.
hmm
How he basically personifies Batman like, I don't care who you are. I don't really give a damn. I we are who I'm looking at is the real you, you know?
yeah,
And he is very, very well spoken. And I do like how they said his original name, not Edward
hmm
Nigma, but Edward.
yeah,
This little nod here and there to the comic books and still keeping a true identity on its own.
hmm
I very much liked it.
yeah. I also liked it as well. Even like in the diner scene, when he when I think it was the cop named Martinez, I think was his
Yeah.
name. When he had the wallet and he had two licenses.
Which one is you? You tell
Yeah,
me.
exactly. I just found that like it was a good touch, because I mean in comics and in movies they always change them up in some way,
hmm
you know. So that's just how I took it. When he showed him the two licenses that
Yeah.
were inside of his wallet.
As far as supporting characters and what I noticed, the person saying the billionaires had it coming to them and it turning out to be one of the Riddlers at the very end. Did you catch on to that at all?
Yeah, the one that was talking that was pretty much just venting, and then Bruce somehow happened to catch it at the funeral, right?
Yeah.
And then the guy that he was punching severely.
Yeah.
Am I correct, right?
Yeah, that was correct.
Yeah. And for other people, who haven't seen it too, we're talking back like to the 12 gauge scene,
Mhm.
where the the same guy, he pretty much shoots him, but Batman doesn't know yet.
Yeah.
But pretty much shoots him and then kind of makes him a little weak,
Mhm.
and then Batman, uh
Stabs himself with, I guess it's adrenaline or something.
it had to have been
Cause
adrenaline, maybe morphine maybe.
no, cause morphine makes you relax. No, this made him like angry.
Yeah, well, it's probably adrenaline, man.
Yeah. Cause honestly, it seemed like he stabbed himself with Bane's serum for a moment.
Yeah, because it was green.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just adrenaline, because it
Yeah.
that's I mean that's also what, like, one of the chemical compounds as well for Bane.
Mhm.
it's
I
it's also
do
part adrenaline.
I do want to see Matt Reeves' interpretation on Bane now,
Hmm.
because with this Batman, nothing stands in his way physically, right?
Yeah.
So I want to see how what it would take to bring this Batman down to a certain extent.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I think it would be interesting.
Yeah, I get you.
And by the way, I heard this from an interesting friend. Uh, So you know the 1969 or the Adam West Batman movie? That
Yeah.
movie had Batman, Catwoman, the Penguin,
Hmm.
and Joker.
Yeah.
And this movie is the only one to have all four of those characters in one
Oh, wow.
since that movie.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, and
Huh.
I guess we should talk about the Joker. Um,
Yeah.
he's given a small scene at the end, and there's also a deleted scene on YouTube.
It's also on HBO Max too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In honesty, I'm glad they cut it out because it kind of spoils something in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I can agree with that. Yes. Mhm.
But I would have loved to see it more, I guess. I
Mhm.
don't know. I would have loved to see it, but, I'm okay with it not being there because
Yeah.
it kind of doesn't make sense in the context of the plot.
Yeah.
And I guess it would have stolen the spotlight against Riddler a little bit.
I think it would have. Yeah. That's what I came into like a small realization of, because
Hmm.
I was like, it's kind of debatable, like within our own heads. When we saw the deleted scene, it was like, oh, why didn't they just keep it in the movie? And then we realize, wait,
The thing is, it's a very good scene,
oh
right?
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it gets this vibe of the Killing Joke scene,
Mhm.
but it does it very interestingly, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does.
And I do want to see how they progress in Batman's years. Like, I hope Robert Pattinson sticks around because I think he is a very, very good Batman. And
Mhm.
this movie was a substantial win for Warner Brothers because this has been their best movie in a while, in my opinion.
Yeah, other than the Joker.
Yeah, this has been DC's best movie in a while, other than. Like, DC has good movies. It's just when it not in their cinematic universe.
Yeah, they just need to work on it. I
I
think
don't
that's
know.
just all it is.
I don't know. For me, that or that DCEU cinematic universe is kind of beyond saving.
Hmm.
And I guess this is where I am gonna talk about this because I don't want to fit it into another video.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
A lot of them suck. Like Man of Steel kind of sucks, and Batman vs Superman is terrible. Justice League 2015 was bad. Aquaman was fine. Wonder Woman was fine, but I
Not Wonder
didn't.
Woman 2. That one was
I didn't
terrible.
see that one.
Yeah, it wasn't great, sadly.
I think DC is at its best when it is doing solo stories, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think interlooping stuff is gonna help DC at all anymore. You know,
Yeah.
that's just my opinion. Although I would like to see it,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to see it anymore, though. That's just my opinion. And it's not like I hate those movies, I just don't. Well, one of them I do actually really hate, but, debate it in the comments.
Yeah.
Which one I actually hate. But, and I think Juan knows the answer, right?
Uh, is it? Yeah, I was about to say that, but it didn't want to come out of my throat.
Yeah, it would have spoiled it for the audience. And I
Yeah.
guess if there's enough traction, I will talk about that at length and why I dislike it. But, you know,
I. It was literally. I was gonna say it, and then my mouth said no.
yeah.
We just don't. We don't
But
talk about it.
I don't know. I feel like DC is now great again. It is great with some of the stuff it's putting out.
Yeah,
Like Joker, Batman, even some of the animated Superman stuff, some of the CW stuff is good.
hmm
A lot of it is really good stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It feels like Warner Brothers gets in its own way half the time.
hmm
For instance, like with the Erza Miller stuff,
Yeah.
and it seems like they do not make good casting choices
Yes.
because it winds up backfiring on them. That's why
Yeah.
I think it's important for individual directors and creators to pick out their people and know what they want out of their people.
hmm Yeah, I agree.
But that's just one humble man's opinion.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, for me personally, I feel like they can pull themselves back up if they want to,
Mhm.
you know? Because, I mean, yes, they had like some terrible films,
Mhm.
you know? But once you start creating like good films, like let's say Suicide Squad, not the first one,
Yeah.
but like the
Yeah.
one with Peacemaker and all them, and the Joker, and then with Joaquin Phoenix, and then the Batman, you
Yeah.
know, it starts cleaning up their record, you
Well,
know.
well, I also thought Shazam was really good too.
Yeah, Shazam as well. Sorry, I forgot about him. I literally forgot. And then it was like one of my favorite movies too.
Yeah. The thing is, the DCEU quality increased over time.
Mhm.
It just took way too fucking long to get there,
Yeah,
and nobody saw the later films. Like nobody saw Suicide Squad,
yeah,
even though it was really fucking good
hmm
because it was
yeah,
behind a paywall to HBO Max.
yeah. That's what kind of ruined it.
I don't know. I think it made it a little bit better in my opinion because it made
hmm
it go balls to the wall, I guess,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But
Well, yeah, because they tried something new, right?
yeah, they tried making an actual Suicide Squad movie rather
hmm
than, what they had
What we
done
got.
before.
Yeah, what we got before.
We shall
But
never speak of that movie again.
but I will say, like, yes, the movie was terrible, but some actors to me stood out. You know,
Hmm.
like for one, was Jay Hernandez. I think that was Diablo. You know,
Yeah, he was alright. He was
yeah,
one of the better parts of that movie.
yeah, and then of course, Boomerang. You know,
Yeah,
but I'm
Captain
not saying
Boomerang.
like, yeah, but I'm not like saying like every single person. But there's just a couple.
Yeah,
That made him shine a little bit.
I'm glad he's dead.
What?
In the Suicide Squad, he gets killed.
Oh, Diablo?
No,
Who? Who are you talking about?
Boomerang.
Well, I haven't seen it.
The Suicide Squad, the new one.
Yeah, I haven't
You
seen it.
told me you saw it, you little
No, I
fucker.
didn't. I
I
didn't
thought
say
you
that.
did.
No, I never told you that.
Well, spoilers.
Well, okay. Well, at least I know that, but that's okay. But anyways, but yeah, like some of them stood out. But
Yeah,
but yeah, they need to work with whoever was casting those characters and
they need to work a little bit better. It
yeah,
feels like they went for star power rather than actual what would work with the characters, which is the
yeah.
opposite of what happened with the Batman.
Mhm. Exactly. Yes.
And I love how Matt Reeves stood behind Robert Pattinson. It's just like, wait till the movie comes out, then make your opinion.
Yeah, which is how it pretty much should be.
Hmm.
That's just how I always see it. Like if a movie is terrible, then I mean it kind of gets complicated.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yes, I mean most people will be like, "Oh, the actor sucked."
Hmm.
But really,
It
I
was
mean,
just
who
bad
knows?
direction, though.
Yeah, direction or writing or pretty
Hmm.
much it correlates to everyone.
Yeah.
A little piece here and there. So I don't know why people pretty much just attack like the actor if it's
Probably
bad.
because it's an easy scapegoat.
Yeah,
Because
but
it's,
it's a shame.
yeah, it is.
hmm But anyways, back to the Batman.
It's a really
um,
good movie. I highly
yeah.
recommend each and every one of you see it.
hmm
It's kind of a long one, so take a break in the middle of it. Right after the car chase is when I'd recommend to take a break.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because, like, right after the car chase and the penguin is there, I recommend stopping at that and
hmm
going to the bathroom real quick, coming back with a brand new fresh snack, and watching.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree. Yeah, actually, yeah, I agree. And then
Because, like,
you
that's
want
about midway through the movie, right? And you're about to
yeah,
hit the really good stuff you don't want to miss.
yeah, yeah, I can agree with that.
Because that's when the movie is really, really good. All of it's really, really good, but that's the stuff you do not want to miss at all.
Yeah, cause even for me, like I didn't even pause it. Like
Hmm.
right after, you see like the camera angle. You know,
Hmm.
I love the way they did that camera angle where
Yeah.
Penguin's upside down, and then Batman's walking to him. It, I felt like, oh my god, he's ready to kick some ass.
Yeah.
You know, and it really shifted, the attitude of the film, in my opinion, at least
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
because, I mean, in the whole first part, it's pretty much them, pretty much trying to think that it's only one person, you
Hmm.
know, doing everything, which I mean, it is,
Yeah.
but every person is a puzzle piece in this,
Yeah.
you
Now,
know, like, yeah, go for it, sorry.
no, go keep going.
Oh, well, I was saying because, like, even Selena Kyle too,
Hmm.
you sort of see them like all having a small impact in their life. Like for her it was Annika, you know.
Hmm.
Uh Falcone was pretty much just, you know, his I can't really say too much about Falcone yet cuz
Yeah.
it kind of slipped my mind.
Yeah.
But like
Every person's a puzzle piece in a jigsaw
mhm,
puzzle.
yeah. And even like with Penguin, it sort of shows him like with a little bit more independence, or so he thinks, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like with the first part, whenever when he goes into that club, to the Iceberg Lounge. I think that's what it was called, right?
Yeah. That's what
I
it's called from the comics too.
I know, and I was so happy when they said that it was the Iceberg Lounge, because I was like, yes, finally,
Yeah.
it feels good to hear it, you
Yeah.
know. Um, but yeah, like it showed Penguin showing his distribution runs,
Yeah.
like pretty much people buying drugs right in front of Batman, pretty much,
Yep.
and he's putting it on the tray for them to distribute.
Yep.
And it shows those little pieces. Even Gordon, him
Mhm.
with the police force again, because god dang, it's always the police force, you know.
The one standout cop was Martinez, though.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, you could see that they would call him like a hothead, you
Yeah.
know. But in actuality, I feel like he held a lot of the rule book in his head, you know,
Hmm.
compared to most of those cops there.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
I think he
it.
was done very, very well.
Yeah, I think so as well. Because it wasn't in the Dark Knight like was another Martinez, but it was a girl, right? Right?
I think so. I think.
Right? That was the one in Dark Knight, like the Dark Knight, right?
Yeah.
And then with something about her mom, and then pretty much,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
we've been through that song and dance, but this
Yeah.
Martinez has really done well.
Yeah, that's just the point where I'm getting to. Yeah, it's so much better.
Overall, where would you rank this? Where would you rank this Batman movie and the others?
And the others?
Cause like, what would you rank it in a tier? Cause like for
Mhm.
me, it would be this movie, The Dark Knight, Batman 1989,
Mhm.
uh, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard to really name them all, right?
Because I think this is the best live action Batman we've got, in my opinion.
Yeah. I
Because,
can agree with that.
like, it might be too soon to tell. The Dark Knight was great. Don't get me wrong. It's
Mhm.
just it had these little problems,
Mhm.
but this one has a lot of little problems too. But I think it works
Yeah.
to its advantage.
I think it's mostly because they changed the atmosphere, you know?
Yeah.
because like in the Dark Knight, uh, I don't know. It was more of like what I got from it. I mean, yes, like it was corrupt and stuff,
But
but it didn't.
it wasn't as important as it is here.
Yes, like it didn't. To me, I mean, it was Gotham for that film, right?
Yeah,
But it was missing a little bit of something,
yeah,
you know. But in this one, it handles it so well, even from the start, you know,
yeah,
with the whole, even like Robert Pattinson as Batman, sort of really seeing like what he actually means, like the Batman means in this
yeah.
movie, because um in the beginning he says like I'm vengeance, you know,
hmm
and
And
then
then he becomes something more.
exactly, and that's what I also loved about it too, because this movie it pretty much showed that vengeance can be interpreted in like a whole different way for
Yeah,
someone, like for instance a lunatic, you know,
yeah,
and I think that's what he soon realized as well once the Riddler came into play,
yeah, definitely.
and I mean it's just a it's a masterpiece, man.
It is. I think everybody should go see this movie if they haven't yet.
Yeah, like seriously. I mean, yes, it's long, but I would say
It's
it's worth
worth
it.
it.
Yeah, it really is worth it. Even if you're not that big of a crazy, Batman fan, you'll still
hmm
get it, you know.
Yeah,
It pretty much this movie breaks it down and gives it to you. It's like a dinner, you know. You have
yeah.
your appetizers, you have the main course, and then the
Dessert.
dessert. Exactly. And it's just it's
It's a
even too
really good
good.
movie.
Yeah, it's too good even for words to pretty much say what it is.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, did you want to talk about like some scenes in the movie,
Ah.
like other than the car scene? Well, no, we could talk about the car scene if you want to a little more.
Well, the cars. I think there are a lot of standout scenes in this movie, like the
Hmm.
Alfred scene, with the emotional hook Alfred scene,
Yeah,
and I
I
thought
know.
the interview scene was kind of weird, kind of bad
Hmm.
at the end of it when he starts singing Ave Maria.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was weird.
But the final fight in the Mayor Dome was
Hmm.
awesome.
I know, man. That was so good. I was like, and they showed everything. You're not just seeing punches, people. If you haven't seen it, you're
Yeah,
seeing like full body um
chaos.
cameras. Yeah, and literally showing how he's getting it done. You know,
Yeah,
because literally him on the spot of what he's thinking and what he's going to do,
yeah, definitely, definitely.
compared to just throwing them in and then just showing like pretty much like a blur. You know,
Yeah,
of him doing things compared to this. This one, you see his exact emotions, what he's feeling when he's hurt, when he feels kind of vulnerable at times, and
yeah,
you're pretty much rooting him on, you know,
definitely.
and even in that scene, you even see like Selena Kyle become concerned for him and Gordon, you know.
Yeah,
They're like, we should freaking do something.
yeah.
Because I mean, it is true, I mean, he can't handle all those people by himself, you
He
know.
takes on an army, man.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's like watching Picasso paint, you
Yeah,
know. It's it's just so great of an action sequence. And it's not only just that one as well. It's like even the beginning part too,
yeah,
you know, when they were going to pretty much what it would be called assault, right?
yeah,
Yeah, when they were going to assault like this innocent civilian,
yeah,
and you even see him fight there and even see him get hit for sometimes,
yeah,
and that's what I also like to see, because I mean, you can't just be completely invulnerable when you're fighting, you
Yeah.
know? And that's what this shows off so good. I'm like, oh my
Hmm.
god, it's beautiful. At least for
Indeed.
me. So yeah, man. I mean, the next topic that sort of just came and slipped right on in was like the car. You know,
Hmm.
what did you think about the car?
Thought it was really cool. I thought it looked really, really cool.
Yeah, I know. Like even for me, because I don't know. Everyone has like I feel like their own ideal of a car of like a Batman car,
Hmm.
but no one really like no one experiments with it too much. You know,
Yeah.
because everyone just thinks like the car is bulky and fully armored and kit with like all this turrets and you
Yeah.
know
When
and
here
all
it's just
that.
kind of an old-fashioned Mustang.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful
Hmm.
car in my opinion. You know.
Agreed.
Yeah. So whenever when you first saw it in theaters, because you saw it in theaters, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I left with the impression
Hmm.
of that was a really good movie and I'm spent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. It
oh,
just.
I am done, you
Yeah.
know?
Hmm.
And it's a great movie. I highly recommend we all watch it. What about you? What did you get?
What I got, I mean, sadly, I didn't see it in theaters because
No,
with
but
all the.
just in general, what did you feel like the ending was for you?
It was good, you
Hmm.
know. Um, I mean, like, yeah, I felt kind of like, I need to probably do something else,
Yeah.
but it it felt good. Like once you got like to the point where it was like pretty much concluding everything that
Hmm.
they left open in the movie,
Hmm.
it just felt great, you know, because
Yeah.
it's like no loose ends, nothing, you know,
Yeah.
other than maybe a little teaser of if they do another one, you know.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's like its own little section. But they didn't leave anything out, and they completed it. You know,
Hmm.
it's it is just so good, and we highly recommend anyone out there to watch it. Don't get too freaked out about the 3 hour mark. You know,
Like break it up in segments if you can.
yeah, and then even if you can't watch it all in one day, that's perfectly fine. You know,
Hmm.
just maybe write like a note or something of where you are and what what's happening, so that way you don't forget.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was great.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely. I
hmm.
think it is one of the it is probably the best live action Batman movie.
Yeah, I can agree with that as well. Um,
And that about wraps it up. Thank you
hmm.
guys for watching. Don't forget to
Yeah.
like the video if you liked it.
Hmm.
Subscribe if you want to see more. Of course, comment down below. We're trying to start a community. We want to hear from each and every one of you that watches the video.
Yeah.
And, I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah. Peace out, everybody.
Have a great one. Bye
Yeah.
bye.